not the greatest. That wasn't the most fun year. It was still a good year, not the most fun year though.
All right, guys, it is 2026 on the Red Room. So, I'm just going to be confident right now and say 2026 is going to be the best year in the last 3 years. It's going to be better. Yes. It's going to be better than 22, 23, 24, and 25. That's just my prediction.
Rip.
So, I like that. And I don't know if anybody noticed, so I have to say it, but did the Steelers win and go to the playoffs?
How did I know that was going to come up?
They sure did. Some people's teams don't make the playoffs, Chris, okay?
But I just had to say that. But I don't know if anybody has noticed, inventory has come down like we talked about. I mean, we're down probably 5,000 units. Now, just a quick note. I mean, come around January 10th to 15th, generally people that have taken their houses off the market for, 2025, the holidays, all that kind of stuff, they usually throw them back up there like the 10th to 15th of the month. But I don't think it's all cancellations. We got Dina here. December's numbers had to be up for a December.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, we finished the year strong, and I'm in agreement with you that 2026 is going to be even better.
Come on.
So if you're in the real estate game and you have actually made it through some of these tough years, call it mid 22, 23, 24, 25, and you are still in the game, I think it's going to be easier. Some of us have pivoted, Luke's got a staging company now.
Luke's wife has a staging company. Yeah. Luke has become a de facto mover and driver, it sounds like.
Yes.
Castle owner on top of that.
That stops this year.
You're a Renaissance man.
But we're gonna jump into as real estate changes. Any of us have been in the market for a long time. We're wholesalers. We start staging companies. Rahima was part of a company that was wholesaling massive amounts of properties, and she's pivoted a little bit into co-living. And I think it was more of just her, and I'll let her tell you this, but more of just like helping out the communities, helping out people that, need housing versus just wholesaling for a check like some of us do, and just like we're just wholesalers. We just wholesale for a check. There's no meaning behind it. It's just, but when you've done it for 25 years, you just don't know what else to do. So, but thanks for jumping on with us, Rahima. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here with you guys. I'd love if you have a minute, I'll tell you all about why we got into co-living.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Absolutely.
Why don't you share a little bit about the origin story and how, because it was an interesting one.
You mean the actual why we the whole banana split, that thing?
Yeah. No, from the first time you heard that this was even a thing, to the guy living down the street from your brother.
Yeah, I mean, we if you're living in Arizona, if you're living in any of the major cities of the United States right now, you see that there's a housing crisis, right? We've got unaffordability. We've got people who have jobs that are living in their cars, and there's just nowhere for them to be able to rent and afford utility and afford a phone bill and afford light, food. All those things become unaffordable. So they live in their car, or they couch surf, or they live on a bus stop, but these people are employed. And so, this was this sort of glaring at Jamil and I, because being the owners of a very large wholesale company that was national, we felt responsible for a lot of the people who no longer had a place to live, right? When we all know when we're wholesalers, we're buying with the tenants inside. And now it's our responsibility to evict the tenant so that the investor can buy the property. Well, where does that tenant go? Now he's been priced out of just about anything that him and possibly even a family have been living in for the last 10, 15 years. And so that always weighed very heavily on Jamil and I. And when we saw that wholesaling was sort of pivoting, the fix and flip game was pivoting, the numbers just weren't there. It was taking longer and longer. And maybe what we were hoping for at the end game of finishing off a flip, we just never got. We started looking at, well, what are alternatives? Well, we can still take a home that is, not financeable, that still has to be sold on the wholesale market. What can we do with it besides flip it? And Pad Split had just sort of come into the market. And so we're thinking, oh, that's kind of crazy. Like 5 or 6 people who didn't know each other yesterday now live together. How does that work? So we took a house across the street from GCU that Jimo said, hey, if it doesn't work, maybe we could rent it to students. So we just sort of dipped our feet into this concept of co-living, not thinking that it was going to become as big as it became, right? So now, to be fair, I can't fill the need of the people so I don't deal with individuals, I deal with organizations, right? So Medicaid is a big organization that works with me. Various insurance agencies that get funding for Medicaid also work with me. We've got organizations that work with formerly incarcerated. They work with me. So I don't collect money from individuals. I collect money from organizations. And these organizations are constantly saying, okay, thank you for the last 24 beds. And for me, 24 beds is 4 houses, right? Because 6 beds per house, 4 houses. That's like, takes me 4 to 6 weeks to finish that house. And they're like, okay, thank you so much for that. We need the next 24. And oh, by the way, we just hired a lobbyist and we have a meeting with the VA and we're going to be able to bring the veterans now. And so when you say to me, oh, this is going to be a stellar year for real estate, I'm kind of hoping it stays I'm kind of hoping it stays where it's at because I'm able to pick up inventory at a phenomenal price. My construction costs are tighter because there's a lot of people that are in construction that aren't employed, and I'm able to get it done faster and a little less expensive than I was in 2021 and 2022. And I have a guaranteed organization willing to pay rent day 1 of my certificate of occupancy. So I'm like, co-living is for me a phenomenal approach to real estate right now.
So have you seen your prices come down on your contractors? Like have they come back to a little bit more reasonable in their fees?
100%. The fees are more reasonable. The material, well, we got lucky because we actually were able to get Home Depot to sponsor us. So we get a 30% off discount, like right off the top of everything that we order from Home Depot. So because they're like a corporate partner for us. So yes, we're not dealing with supply shortages. We're not dealing with pandemic shortages. We're not dealing with any of that. And because Home Depot knows exactly what we order, they developed a catalog for us. So whichever contractor we get, we give them the catalog. This is exactly what you're going to order. This is the way we're going to set you up, and you're going to get your 30% off. So even our investors are seeing the prices are much cheaper for construction. One caveat with the deportations, we were able to skirt that because we're utilizing the people who live in the homes, and we're training them in construction along with Home Depot. So Home Depot is our corporate training partner as well. Their vendors go in and they train. So I have a female construction crew now for paint and floor and bare paint. And then 2 of the larger flooring vendors trained the women on how to install the flooring and the painting. And they handle the floor and paint division of the housing.
And that's a whole other story too, because you wanted to become a female contractor, which you just got licensed to do.
Oh, wow. And
tell them why.
Oh, well, all the contractors that I said, hey, let's integrate women in, they said, no, we don't want to do it. It's too hard. They're not going to know what they're doing. They're going to be a distraction for the men. Every excuse you could think of. And I said, never mind. If you don't want to do it, I'll do it. And then you're going to subcontract for me in order for you to get this job.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a big microcosm right now. And we're able to bring in people who otherwise are very vulnerable, like extremely vulnerable in today's society, right? And they live in a neighborhood now. And there's 6 of them in a home. There's usually a house manager that the organization brings in. If they want chickens, we get them 6 chickens. If they want a garden, we build them a garden. Like they are becoming self-sufficient, and they're becoming members of society again.
Well, and they're afforded dignity in the process.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they're getting housing and potential jobs, right?
Yeah, 100%, and potential jobs. Now, a lot of people would say, "Oh, that's so great," but I'm not really in a position to be charitable right now. You know, I still need to build my legacy. I still need an income. So it's generally, for most of our investors, about 22% return on their cash every month, and they own the house whole and soul. On top of that, because of the regulation that Maricopa County came out on January 1st, we're allowed to build an additional 3 extra units on that property as long as the lot allows for it. So now we're not just building the main 6.6, we're doing an attached ADU of 4.4, and then perhaps 2 detached ADUs on the backside of another 4.4 and 4.4. So 4 plus 4 plus 4 is 12, plus 8 is, or plus 6 is 18. So now where this one lot had 6 bedrooms and 6 bathrooms, we now have 18 bedrooms, 18 bathrooms.
And is that based on the lot square footage?
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm always looking for like 700, 800, 900 square feet. I tend to prefer those, and I find them mostly in South Phoenix.
Okay.
South Phoenix
and Maryvale.
And Maryvale, yeah. And I do find them in Sunnysville too. And those are the areas where they're building their clinics. So because they understand, hey, I can get this. And so we're closing on one tomorrow in South Phoenix where I can build 48 beds. So splitting the lot, on one side I'm going to do one house at 6.6 and then 3 additional ADUs that all offer 6.6. And the city of Phoenix is giving me a thumbs up. They're not shooting me down at all. They're saying, do it, go.
So how many square feet on a lot do you need to get to the 24 units? Like, is it a half acre or what's the number?
Half acre. Sometimes I can do it on a quarter acre. It really depends on how the lot is formed. If it's a corner lot, it's harder for me because I'm going to have easements on 2 sides. If there's an encroachment, so I have to look at each lot individually. But I've been known to like stay in a parking lot. If deals are coming my way, I'll just stay parked and figure it out. I've got a draftsman like on call, like, hey, get a site plan on this right now for me so I can buy it.
So what coffee shop, if we were driving through South Phoenix, will we stop and see you because you're going to every little your next deal?
She doesn't stop for coffee.
I don't stop for coffee.
That's right.
I have a thermos. I have a thermos in my car that I drink from and a bottle in my car that I pee in. And that's it. And I try not to mix those two up.
Right.
Like,
you've got an IV in your car, don't you?
There you go. You know it. I mean, it's crazy right now. We're in such a sweet spot in real estate that I would encourage you guys to reach out and see if we can't work together.
You know, Rahima, I think there was a sweet spot in real estate for the past year that a lot of people didn't take advantage of, in my opinion. And I think it's exactly kind of what you're saying in the sense of, you know, it was absolutely a buyer's market. And if you were able to kind of position yourself to a point where you could buy, maybe interest rates weren't the greatest, but I mean, there were deals out there. I mean, there were deals where you would kind of just look and be like, wow, like you never would have seen that a year ago or 2 years ago or 3 years ago or 4 years ago or 5 years ago. Then you see them and you're like, that's wild, you know? And I think that, you know, obviously you guys found a way to take advantage of that. And I love it.
And seeing like getting a house with a 1 in front of it, something that's in
in Arizona.
In Arizona, I haven't seen that since I moved here in 2012.
Right.
Something with a 1 in front of it. So if it's got a 1 in front of it, there's a very good chance I'm going to scoop it up.
Yes.
Let's talk about profitability and cash flow for the investors with this model too, because I think that the why behind what you're doing is definitely because we're providing a solution, right? And creating affordable housing and helping people that nobody else is helping. But I think the financial component that's attached with this is something that will blow people's minds if they understood it.
Let's do that math, right? So $260 is what I charge per week on every room. Okay. So I'm going to times that by just the main house, the six bedroom, 6 bathroom house. That's $1,560. And I'm going to multiply that by 4.33 because if you divide 52 by 12, it's 4.33. All right. That's grossing $67.54.80. Right. We're on the same page. I'm going to multiply that by 0.78 because I take 22%. People always say to me, what do you do this for? Because the investor owns the house. I take 22% off the top. That's for me to maintain the property and to fill it. So I make sure that it's 100% occupied all the time. And that leaves the net, that after my costs or after my charge, it's $52.68. Okay. Now we're going to minus the DSCR. It's usually around $2,800 minus $2,800. We're at $24.68. We minus another $600 for utility, insurance, things like that, $18.68. Okay. Multiply that by 12. We're at $22,424, and they generally leave in $125,000 in the deal. So they're making 17.9%.
Yeah.
So,
tough to
so
beat that.
cash on cash are 17.9%.
Yep. And then they can take the full depreciation of the property if they need it for their taxes, and they own the house free and clear. Now remember, we're generally buying so that the land is still available for them and will plumb out for future ADUs on that property. So now they already own the land. So they'll have to, when they're ready to build their first ADU, second, third ADU, that land has already been paid for. So
Now,
it's
do
just
you get pushback from the tenants that are in place when you add building number 2, 3, or anything like that?
So I'm going to correct you on one thing, Chris. They're never tenants.
Oh, right.
They're only members.
Yeah.
I don't fall under the Tenancy Act at all. I have a membership. My membership is with the organization. So the organization gives me the thumbs up that, yes, Rahima, go ahead, build 14 beds on this. Or Rahima, this is really close to our clinic. Can you give me 21 beds? Can you give me 24 beds? Because remember, they're busing people back and forth for therapy. So right. the more people that live on that home or on that plot is better for them.
And they've also cultivated a community that's very intentional, and it requires a ton of screening on the back end too. So it's not like these people feel like they're on an island. They actually have connectivity to the other folks that are living there.
Right. And the organization understands that. So when they place these people, they know who will work and live well together and who won't.
Oh, wow.
And so when we first were introduced to this concept, I first heard about this during COVID, right? And I was like, this is nuts. This is like nuts. And then I was told, well, you get in a car with strangers. It's called Uber, right? And I was like, okay, yeah, I did think that was nuts. Now I don't. But the company that was bringing this, philosophy to us was basically they take the first 10 days of rent at 100% to run a PPC campaign to fill the beds, right? But after those tenants leave, those members leave, I guess, they don't spend any money to replace them. So as an investor, your money, it's gone. I mean, the model really wasn't profitable based on what you had to spend on the management to fill the beds, right? So changing the model and going towards the nonprofit thing has really helped tremendously on that front as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's because it's a nonprofit that pays us, right? So even if it's Medicaid paying us, Medicaid's payer, they're all very bright. They all opened up nonprofits to pay us. So now, because I'm helping a nonprofit, if I have to incur some costs, like replace some bedding or replace a bed, all of that for me is tax-free.
And
for the investor, it's tax-free.
And the charities are actually saving money too, because the housing that they're currently providing for these folks is less than stellar and more expensive.
Yeah, they're paying $70 a night in a hotel. And they have to put 2 or 3 people into a room that don't know each other, into one room and one bathroom. We provide
no kitchen.
No kitchen, nothing. So we give everybody their own bathroom, their own bedroom. Every room comes with a desk, a bed, a nightstand. It's all en suite. They have their own mini split so they can determine what temperature they want their personal space in. Everybody has a TV. They share the kitchen and they share the laundry. Otherwise, they have their own independent unit. And I thought that would be enough, but I now have the homes going back to us and saying, hey, would you mind putting a TV in the main room so we can watch the game together? And that makes me very happy. Yeah. Because now this home is a real community together watching the game. And a lot of them are Steelers fans, so you'll be happy about that.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, can we put it so the TV can only go to the Steelers game?
Yeah, we're looking into that, for sure. And I would like us to have like a Zoom where we're all watching the game, like all the houses are watching the game together on Zoom, right? So, and we'll be posting more about that. Jamil will probably do some mindsets for us. We've got people that come in and teach them how to like cook on a budget of, say, buying only whole food from Walmart for $70 a week. And what can you cook with that? So we're taking this the step further. Yes, the investor makes money, 100%. Yes, the nonprofit is in a much better position because there are people that have safe and secure housing. And these people are now becoming integrated, valuable members of society. And that gives them joy.
Yeah, that's cool. Mm-hmm.
Okay, can you share a little bit about the community that you guys are building around this concept nationwide and what that community looks like today? Because I feel like if we have you and this conversation a year from now, it's going to look very different. So describe what that looks like today.
So put me on your calendar for the first week of January to come back on your show, okay?
For sure.
So we can see where we are. Jamil started Housing Alchemy, I would say about 6 months ago. I think that's about right. 6 months ago, we started, the first week, I think we got 10 people that joined. So this is a national community. People who are like-minded, want to get involved in co-living, joined. I think right now we're at 250. So it escalated pretty quick. And I don't think he does a lot of ads. I think it's just a lot of word of mouth. But we've got 250 people who are like-minded and want to get into their own co-living. So a lot of our community members see what we're doing here in Phoenix and are like, hey, I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I'll just do this in Phoenix. And so they actually own property in Phoenix, and I'm lucky enough to manage it for them, and we're able to give it back to the nonprofits.
And they're all coming out for the RIA in April, right?
I'm hoping to fill that. Like, I'm hoping to say to you, hey, we may need another place to hold your event, because April.
Well, Chris moved to the big room for you.
Yeah.
Perfect. I think we'll need it. We'll need it.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're getting a 17% return after management and expenses,
utility, Wi-Fi, all
yeah,
this.
yeah. I mean, that's pretty good. Cash on cash. That's a pretty. I don't know that you can get that in a whole lot of places. Plus, this would qualify as a short-term rental. So I'm sure you guys probably have accountants doing depreciation studies and getting accelerated depreciation.
Yeah, and that all belongs to the investor. The investor owns that whole house, whole and soul. So if they want to take advantage of those, if we're doing it in South Phoenix for them and they've got that money set aside for opportunity zone, then they get to take advantage of the tax write-offs that come with an opportunity zone. So we want the investor to be, because most of our investors are just regular people. They're you and me, right? They're not big. We haven't taken institutional money. Not that we haven't been offered institutional money. We have been. But we're saying, hey, how about we don't have 7 people own the world? How about we put this into the hands of the ma's and pa's out there that are looking to build their own family legacy?
Rahima, real quick, I might have missed it earlier. Did you say the average property, what would you say is the renovation cost that goes into it?
So we tear it down to one wall.
Wow.
If we're not scraping it, we're taking it down to one wall.
Wow.
It's to build a 6.6, it's usually around 230. Okay. Because we have to redo the entire plumbing system to the street, right? And then we have to upgrade the sewer. We need a new panel. Generally need a new roof. We need all brand new electrical because we've got way more drywall, way more. I mean, everything is just multiplied by 6. Right.
So I think that brings up a good point. Why don't you talk about the financing in the process from the very beginning when you find a house that's worth tearing down to how that's financeable and what that looks like on the front end and then the exit into the DSCR?
Sure. We've been really lucky because we've had a few lenders that have trusted us to say, hey, I'll give you a shot. So we want to make sure that the investor is never underwater. That way the lender is always protected and the investor is always protected, right? So if you show me something and I say, okay, this is what it's going to cost me to build it, I need it to be at this price so that the investor and the lender are protected. So we'll always be under ARV, under a conservative ARV. I'm not trying to ARV this as a 6-bed, 6-bath because that's a unicorn. right? I'm not going to get an appraiser to give me that. So I will appraise it as a 3.2 or a 4.2 at best. And so I need to make sure that, so if the median house price is 450, I have to make sure that my land or my acquisition and my build out are going to be way less than 450, right? That way, when the DSCR lender comes in at 25% or at 75% loan to value, that investor knows, because they came to the table with that first 125 grand.
Yeah.
They know they're leaving that in there. And the hard money is going to get paid out. So there's never any question of, oh, I needed to pull some money out. Sweetheart, you can't pull any money out. Your money is going to be in there because the lender needs to be paid out.
Yeah, but like you said, you're getting a 17% return on investment. You're not going to get that in very many other spots.
No, especially where you own the property, right? Yeah. Some people will say to you, hey, I'll take this cash and I'll give you this, maybe 15% on it, maybe in very unstable situations, right? But your money is in the property and you own the property, and essentially it's a brand new property. Nothing there is only one wall is standing, and I would have you try to guess which wall it was, because you'll never guess.
Yeah.
And where else are you going to get a place where you can get 24 units on a half acre? Now, is that the city of Phoenix? They just passed that law like 5 days ago.
Maricopa County. Which means that any city over 70,000, which is every city, now has to conform to that stipulation. Will there be arguments? I think so. I'm still not going to try to do this in Scottsdale. I'm just not going to bother. Phoenix is our friend, right? We walk in with a permit. We walk in with an application for a renovation. We walk out with a permit that day. And I don't even have to wear leather pants anymore. We just walk out.
And for those people that are thinking to themselves, what kind of money does it really take to break into this? Can you walk us through the structure of a house that you guys bought recently and what that looks like?
Sure. So I always say you need about 125, 130 grand. Okay. You need that much to play. Okay. Because I'm going to find a house for you around 200,000, 220,000. And then I'm going to find the financing for you around 230. So where are we going to be? 450? Median house price of Phoenix is 450. I need to stay in that sweet spot. You bring in your 135 so that the lender knows you're invested. Because at this point, I'm dealing with friends and family, right? My lenders right now are still friends and family because we're still too new for people to understand what we're doing. And so I need to make sure my friends and family are always protected. We want to finish that in no more than 12 weeks. That entire renovation has to be done in 12 weeks so that on week 10, our lender at CMG, Rebecca St. Riley, can start the process to pay that lender out, and I can go back to him on bended knee and say, hey, can I get that money one more time or 2 more times or 10 more times, and just keep recycling that money.
So from the beginning, it's basically acquisition. So you're closing one escrow with Chris's money and some of their money. Okay.
Yes.
Then you're doing the renovation.
And they're going to be the first draw. I want their money to be the first draw. So the majority of the material has been ordered. A lot of our saw cutting has been done. And then I go back to the lender and I said, okay, I'm at this point. Now I need my first draw.
And then who's paying for the renovation?
Usually the hard money, right? So it's a mix of hard money and investor money.
Okay.
And then once it's fully renovated, we're going to go through another transaction where we're going to close the house a second time with Rebecca and the traditional financing. So by the time these houses have members living in them and becoming a community, we've already had 2 transactions and the property is cash flowing significantly.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. That's what we have. And I usually won't allow people to move in until that appraisal has been done and accepted. I need to make sure that the DSCR knows exactly what they're loaning on, and so that nobody's going to come back and say, oh, wait a second, we need another appraisal.
Yeah.
And then the last thing we just need is the person's name at the city of Phoenix where you can walk in.
No joke, man.
Chris, Chris and Luke, if I can get you both, just get your pant sizes, I'll buy you leather pants. And we'll start that investment. That started for me in 2023. when I was still on that TV show, and we would need these permits done like yesterday. And, you know, I'd send my contractor in, and my contractor would come back with like, it didn't work. And I said, no, just forget it. You know, big hair and leather pants gets a lot done.
Chris, we're not doing good on either of those.
And because you're going to be back here next year in January, how many beds are currently filled through the model here in Arizona?
We have 150 beds, all are filled. Our goal is, and we had a meeting with our main nonprofit yesterday. He wants 1,000 beds by the end of the year.
Wow.
And then he'll need to 10x that pretty quickly. So we're in a position right now where we are doing a lot of new construction because we're buying land. We are about 3 or 4 weeks away from having all of our plans pre-approved. So we'll have a pre-approved 2-story 6.6, a pre-approved 1-story 6.6, and then a pre-approved ADU at 4.4, at 5.5, and 6.6. So instead of waiting 3 months, we're at 3 weeks at the city. Now, and there's also a way you can get a certified by the city of Phoenix grading and drainage and engineer. If they stamp our plan, then instead of taking 6 weeks, that takes 2 weeks. So we really need to cut our time at the city for new construction. Like, we need to make it a fraction of what it is. Otherwise, I'll never be able to fill that mandate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we appreciate you jumping on. If someone wanted to contact you, where would I send them?
You can call me. My number is 310-869-2080.
By the way, I love that about you.
Redroom, just text Redroom. I'll know where you came from.
There we go.
All right,
There you go.
And you can reach out to Jamil on Instagram or YouTube as well, because those channels are managed.
Is it Jamil Damji? Jamil Damji on Instagram. But you're more likely to get an answer from me right now because he's on tour. So he's out across I think he's in Detroit today.
Mm.
What was that cell phone number again?
310-869-2080.
I can.
And we are going to be talking about this topic at the Phoenix RIA in April at the Expo, and you and Jamil are going to be there. So I'm sure there's going to be lots of evolutions and changes by then.
I hope so. I hope to be able to show you some real life models, and maybe we can get some of the people who live in those homes to come out and give like a short testimonial. We're starting a documentary end of Q1 2026. We'll be starting a documentary on the lives and how the lives are changing by living in this type of community. And another thing that I wanted to point out, some people say to me, well, is this house, if things didn't work out and the investor needed to sell this house, would it be sellable? And I want to say, Chris and Dina have both been to several of our homes. I want to let you know that the way we build these, it's a very sellable product. It has a living room. It has a wonderful, beautiful kitchen, lots of living space. The difference is we have 6 en-suites. That's it. That's the difference. We've utilized this 1,850 square feet in such a way that you are allowed to have multi-generational living. All of your kids can have space. You can have an in-home office. All of that still works, and so you still have. It's very financeable, and it's still a very cohesive.
Which is a big change from the original model too, where they cut out all the living rooms and all common spaces completely, right? So the homes that you're building, they all have individual kitchen cabinets, right? That are prioritized for them. I mean, this is a place that supports everybody having their own freedom, but also the connectivity to other humans, which helps with mental illness and other things like depression.
Well, really, we went the other way on the pendulum, right? Especially with the pandemic, we became very reliant on this thing, right? This became everybody's best friend.
Oh yeah.
And we weren't built that way. We were not made to get our connection from technology.
Right.
As humans, we're made to connect together. Even though we're connecting together on technology today, if I wasn't able to see your face, if we were just texting this conversation, it would have ended a half an hour ago.
For sure. No question. I get you.
Cool.
Well, it's an awesome model. I can't wait to get you on next year when you say you have 1,150 rooms available.
Yeah, that's it.
Not available.
Filled up. That's
and if you guys want to meet Rahima, Banana Split and Housing Alchemy are now part of the Phoenix RIA community, and they're going to be at every event for this year. So come on out and meet her in person.
Heck yeah.
And we'll have the Phoenix RIA is always on the third Tuesday. We don't do this summer, but January 20th will be our first event. I think it's Find It, Fix It, Finance It, Flip It. I think that's the title, right? Something like that. Tracy's gonna be on there on the Fix It side.
Oh, okay.
Did you not get my text over Christmas?
What color red am I? Okay, no, I just found that out. That's great.
It's called Locate, Leverage, Renovate, and Reap Rewards.
There you go. I thought we were talking about the podcast, but yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, so we had Justin Colby's coming into town, talking about he's made a partnership with ADUs, so this will be an interesting conversation for him. So he's going to stop by and jump on the panel on the Red Room as well. So that'll be he's going to be in town for a few days, so he said he'd come by. So
nice,
special guest.
Nice.
Heck yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Everybody follow, subscribe, all the fun stuff. Comment below. I'll watch comments for the next few days. I put Rahima's contact information if you want to become one of her investors or one of her contractors or anything you. I want to learn how she gets permits in 6 weeks, but
I'll tell you what.
I don't think I'd look good in leather pants. I
think you'll look great in leather pants.
Rahima, can you come to Prescott with me and plead to the city about getting permits the same day?
Let's try. I'm in. Like I said, I'm looking for a reason to come to Prescott, so let's do it. As long as
I'm in. I'll go anywhere with you.
Beautiful.
There you go.
We'll go to Whiskey Row. It'll be
sounds like a group road trip up here. Yep.
Let's do it.
Well, Rahima, we appreciate you jumping on, and
I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for including me. I've always been very excited to be a part of this, and when I got the invitation, I was ecstatic. Thank you.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
And I hope everybody has an amazing 2026. So let's get it going.
Let's do
go.
it. Let's have a wonderful year.
See you guys.
Later, guys.
Bye. See you guys.